go to the story.
This is gonna be a lot longer.
Let's go to the story.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, no.
So.
Can we? All right. Just put recode in the bottom. Let's save
Yeah,
a lot of
we're
time.
gonna
Yeah,
save some time and do that.
Hang on.
If there's anyone
I
who
actually
disagrees-
have an argument against that.
Okay.
I would
go for
think a bad story is worse than no story, or a relative absence of story. Because
Rax, I'm putting it at F. No.
Hold on. Are you saying Dream Drop has a bad story? I'm saying Recoded
yeah,
has
I see
no
what
story.
you're saying.
And I'm saying a bad story for me is worse than no story.
Well, here's the thing, though,
If
man.
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Here's the thing, and this is what I've been saying for a while now. It's like Dream Drop, while the story, at least there's one point that we all go back to and just shit on, it's the time travel, right? Now,
Yeah.
the basis for Dream Drop, from what I could see, before we add the time travel shit in there, right? It was supposed to be about Sora and Riku taking their Mark of Mastery exam, right? So they can prepare
To prepare for
yeah,
Xehanort,
yeah,
right.
to prepare for KH3. Now, see, if it was just that and they had handled it a bit differently without the time travel, I think it would have been a good story.
But the ending soured everyone's face.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
I would
just
argue
ruined
the
it.
majority of the plot is not very fun.
It's not interesting. It's not that
Sora
interesting, but it's
is
fine.
terrible
It's
in Dream Drop Distance. They rewrote his entire. I don't know who this person is. He's a dumb stick just walking around. Sora is awful in Dream Drop
Yeah,
Distance.
he's
They don't-
insufferable.
Yes.
They took essentially a charismatic, kind of like slightly naive, sassy character in Kingdom Hearts 2, and then they gave us I don't know
They
what the hell it is.
Flanderization.
They flanderized him.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
flanderized him.
We got a brain dead person that looks like Sora. It is like they took the naive thing and just threw it off a cliff. He's not cute, like he's so naive. He's like a dumb idiot that everybody loves. That's not his character, but that's what they went with. He's so stupid. He's adorable, and that's why everybody likes him because he's that weird friend you just associate with because he's like he doesn't know any better. He's just wacky, but that's
Right.
not Sora's character.
Right. Yeah.
I'd
what I
like to
think.
bring up too. I feel like, while I'm sorry, not Days. Dream Drop is a mess of a story. It's not boring. It's
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll
that's
give you that.
Recoded is boring. I was watching the first time I watched the 2.5 movie. I was like, word, like
Recoded is
Yeah.
boring and
That
doesn't
is
do anything for the
fair.
story. Recoded
like
all led up to...
something is bad and entertaining is better than something that's boring.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Dream Drop's plot was actually supposed to be part of KH3 Once Upon a Time.
Well,
Yeah, I remember.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Thank God it wasn't, but I remember.
Yeah,
it.
thank
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think overall, Recoded better be at the bottom.
Of course, we're
Yeah.
not talking
Yeah,
about
Recoded's
this.
at
Like
the
it's
bottom.
just going there. I don't care
But
what
I
you
think
have to say.
I
it's
feel
not
like
happening.
Dream Drop would
Recoded
be
has a
above
real story.
Recoded though.
Dream
Like,
Drop
it's
would
not
be
really-
above. You think?
Oh
it's
yeah,
that,
I think Dream
like-
Drop should be above Recoded. Yeah,
think
absolutely.
that's-
Yeah,
it'd be
I'd say, how about this? It's slightly above it, but again, it does make Kingdom Hearts 3 better for some reason. You know, like by some stretch of a miracle, it does manage to set up Kingdom Hearts 3.
Back cover, and I'm going to say this: Union Cross, or not Union Cross, but Unchained Key, and Browser Key, Unchained Key. That's one thing. That right there was a very interesting story because
Yeah.
back in the day when we would wait for updates from like KH Insider, KH13, they would update us on the story. The plot was actually very interesting. It gave life to a lot of the characters that back cover failed to do because it was all rushed in back cover. You know what I mean? They were building from scratch. But anyway. Not Union Cross. Fucking God, so many names. Fuck! Okay, listen. Browser Key.
Unchained Key.
And
there you
Unchained Key, right?
Yes.
Those two things together made for a very nice and interesting story, right? Because it was always mysterious. It kept you at the edge of your seat. But then, when they introduced Union Cross, there we go. When they introduced Union Cross, it was like, then what do you do? Marluxia? What the fuck? Like,
No, his
and
name's
I'm not going
Lorium.
to judge it
No, his
yet.
name's Larium.
Yeah, Lorium. I'm not going to judge it yet.
Lorium.
I'm not going to judge it yet.
That we can't really judge Union Cross yet plays a very big role into that.
I'll
Yeah,
keep it out.
I
I'll
like
keep it out of the
Union.
tier list
Union's
for now.
interesting, and I like like the mystery. Like I said, the mystery behind it's fine and stuff. But if I'm going strictly, let's just go based off the collections, I guess, because that's a majority of what the players are going to be exposed to. Just back cover though, I would put that D or F tier because it's just like.
I'd put it
it's a
below
I
little
Dream
won't
Drop.
be.
more
I won't
dumb.
be putting either on the tier list. I'm just saying, since one isn't complete, but technically they lead into each other, it's like I won't.
Yeah,
judge
yeah,
it.
I don't
Right.
think we
It's
can
still
really judge
one
Union
story
entirely.
that we
Yeah.
can't really fully judge.
I'd bring up two, because are we including 0.2 in this as well?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
I would say so, yes.
I would
I'd
put
put that-
0.2 low.
I put that above Dream Drop, honestly.
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
It was highly predictable. It was Mickey was unbearable, I think it's just his voice. I can't say in the production sense because his voice actor is just very, I don't know, he's wishy-washy. But that's not what I mean. I mean, it's just like this didn't need to exist. What it did was
Also,
one of those.
It
That
ruins blank
retcon
points.
with the shirt.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
ruins blank
God.
points. That too.
It's like I like the moments with Aqua and like seeing her turmoil and stuff in the realm of darkness.
Ooh.
That's fine, but when it gets to the end, when Mickey shows up, it's like 0.2 takes such a nosedive for me, and it gets so
Yeah.
deep. Can we all agree that blank points is a really good secret ending to Birthday?
was a
Blank
great
points
idea.
Oh,
is
it's the best.
the
thing.
best
It's the
secret.
best thing.
And 0.2 ruins it. At the end of 0.2, it shows Aqua walking up to the beach where Ansem the Wise is, just chilling on a rock. And that's supposed to lead straight into blank points at the end of Birth by Sleep. And in blank points, Birth by Sleep, it's a very emotional ending because Ansem's talking,
'Cause that's where
and
she
Christopher
finds
Lee
out
does a
about
great
Sora.
job. Yeah, and that's the first time she ever hears about Sora, and because Ansem the Wise is saying it's like, these boys are saving the world, and they've helped so many people, and then Aqua's like, is any of them named Terra or Ven? And he is like, no, it's a boy named Sora, and she looks off the distance and starts crying about this person named Sora that she doesn't know. Now, the problem is that Mickey did tell her about another person named Sora and Riku and that Ven and Terra were out of commission. And the only thing that could excuse this is people saying, well, the Realm of Darkness is fucking with her head and she forgot. Either way, it softens the blow at blank points, and it pisses me off. Because
I'm
it's
gonna
more
argue-
emotional. She had no idea who they were at all.
No, she
So-
already knew who they were because she went to Destiny Islands originally. She met Sora
That's
and
the
Riku.
reason
She knew
it's
who
so
they were.
emotional to her.
That's
And-
why it's so
yes.
emotional, yeah.
But at the end of 0.2, she saw Riku. She knew Sora was on the other side of the door, but before she could see the conclusion of that event, she was whisked away, and then she was left in the Realm of Darkness for who knows how long before she met Ansem the Wise. Now, when she met Ansem the Wise, that's after Cage 2, so that's another year later in the Realm of Light.
Yeah, but the Realm of Darkness time goes faster because she's been in there for 10 years, technically speaking. Like, where Mickey shows up, that's year 9, roughly. But she's only been in there for how long? Like, we showed up at, Cinderella's castle, did all that kind of spiel, and then Mickey shows up. So it's
Yeah,
like,
well,
in the Realm of Darkness, time goes faster, if anything.
but
But it
she
feels longer.
even then, she knew that Sora and Riku were there with Keyblades, saving whatever or trying to, but she didn't know anything up to that point. She didn't know this man. This man just comes up, he tells her this long story like this boy is saving the world, and then he says the name. She doesn't know that he's the one. She doesn't know that he's like,
That he's the one who
Becoming
actually
successful.
saved the world.
yeah,
And
exactly.
didn't he?
She knows
He
that
okay,
he's
so
attempting. She knows his name. She knows that she met him once, and she knows that he was there on the other side of the door that one time. She doesn't know the extent of what he's doing. She doesn't know that he's the savior of the entire world.
I'd put it at C,
0.2?
Yeah.
between
Yeah,
C and
C
D.
tier.
I would put it. I would
I-
put it at C.
Just, the Mickey stuff was just too, like, parts of it were fine, like him looking for the D Keyblade, that's fine. Like, but, the shirt, the whole, him telling Aqua all this crap, and then the shirt thing.
I love how the shirt is like for me and you. It's
It
like
was
this
the
big
dumbest-
fucking thing.
I think that's probably, it was the attempt to make things like, ooh, yeah, because, this is how Mickey lost his shirt. And I'm like,
And
that
they
was
half
probably
fixed
the
it.
lowest retcon I've ever seen a series.
They half fixed it. Like I said, they didn't even fix his shoes. They
Yeah,
They
only
didn't fix his
fixed
shoes, yeah. Because
Like, they half
I literally beat Kingdom Hearts 1 again last night, and then there's Mickey in his cutesy little red shorts and his normal ass yellow shoes,
Yep.
and then it's just it's a very obnoxious retcon. That's why I don't like it.
Listen here, and I've been seeing this in the chat for so long. I'm telling you right now, Birth by Sleep story is not S tier, and I will go into why. I think it is.
Now we get into it.
Hang on.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
When it comes to Birth by Sleep, I would personally put it in between A and B. I wouldn't put it on A. I would halfway put it on there because I think it does. It pushes the story forward in its, it being a prequel, and it does some interesting stuff with that. I enjoy a lot of the interactions that you get throughout the game between the characters, the progression of seeing what happens to our three main characters, and I just think that Blank Points as a scene, which in a vacuum of when it came out and what it is some of the strongest just setup, and just as a scene is one of the best ones that we've gotten for the series in general, where it puts everything in perspective it's a scene that pretty much told you exactly what's going to be happening in the next set of games. And I just found that it has problems. It has problems where they want to make every character contrast. Like they have to, all right, to show, we're gonna have Ventus hang out with a lot of the main characters of Disney Worlds, and we're gonna have Terra hang out with the villains because you know exactly what happens to him.
Yep.
Yeah, they're always going to do it in that way. They're gonna make him easily manipulatable because they need him to go in a certain way. And I feel like the same thing happens with Dream Drop Distance that happens with Birth by Sleep, where they have multiple characters, so they try to make them contrast as much as possible, which is what made Sora an idiot, because they needed to contrast Riku being a smarter, more well-spoken, more strategic character, and Sora's just an idiot who helps people. And I feel like that kind of happens with Birth by Sleep.
I think we can all agree Terra is brain dead.
Terra did nothing wrong.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
They had to make his character stupid so he would fall for dumb shit. Because like they were trying to, Nomura was trying to do two things: make his character likable, but also make his character do bad things. And then he hit on boring and stupid. That's essentially like what happens when you cross those two.
No.
And then
I think one of the many problems with the discourse about Terra and the things that happen to him is there are multiple situations where it's not actually his fault.
Exactly.
Like,
oh my god.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a big one. That's
It's
a big one.
saying
Like think about the first world he goes to, and he meets Maleficent, and then he sees Aurora, and then she just casts a spell on him, and then that's how that ends up happening. And then he does everything right in Cinderella. He's a class act. He ends up being a motivator. Then you go to Dwarf Woodlands, and it's like, yo, put this heart in a box. He's like, whatever, I'm just gonna go seek this girl out and talk to her. And she doesn't decide to look behind her and see that there are random enemies behind her, and that's the reason he pulls out his Keyblade, and it's just a misunderstanding.
he's literally at the wrong place at the wrong time and stuff. But
it's a lot of bad luck and characters not speaking to each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of people pass off a good chunk of that is just him being brain dead, and I feel like that's a little disingenuous.
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
that's a little.
I'm not
bit
saying
of
He's a
not
little
stupid.
slow.
Look at this. Look at the stream real quick. So look at how S, A, and B are. I put, and this is not saying that she's an S tier character by any means, but I'm just saying in terms of where I would place them, I put Aqua at S, I would put Terra at A, and I would put Ventus at B, because he's not a bad character, but
Yeah,
he's
no,
just,
I would.
he's
I
just
would
there,
also
you know?
agree with that.
He's just
I would think all of
he's a-
that
he's a
and
He's
I
a
feel like
walking
a lot of that
plot
comes
point.
down to his purpose.
Exactly,
in
he's
the
a
game.
walking plot point.
Yeah.
I could not have said it better myself. Now, Chain of Memories, let's get that out
I will
of the way.
fight. I will fight. That's
I
my
will
S.
fight.
I will
That-
fight. That is my
Please
S.
fight, because it's definitely not going to S, my guy.
That's not my S, but that
me
is
tell
my
you-
A.
Let
That
me
is
tell
my
you
A.
what.
I would put
Memories is
Chain
A.
of Memories as an A, yeah.
And memories is
That
A.
is my S.
I would
Despite
definitely give it an A. I'm
none
not
of
giving it
it
S.
really mattering up until Kingdom
Because-
Hearts 3. I would put it at an A. And I think Calm is great. Anything that's the Disney stuff is crap, but like,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that shit
By the
doesn't
way-
matter. That's what
but like anything,
Yeah.
the core plot of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I think the Calm is really good.
I know. I was gonna say. I definitely. The reason it's my S.
Yep.
Yeah, easily. My biggest issue with Kingdom Hearts is throughout the entire series, it's a lot of fluff and then the story payoff, right? Towards the end. Chain of Memories is like
Chain of
you get a
Memories is
floor,
literally
you get
payoff, payoff,
thick-ass
payoff,
plot.
payoff,
You get a floor of gameplay, thick ass plot. Like I'm like, okay, it's constantly moving. Like I'm like, all right, this is good. I like this. I'm interested. The characters, like we see half of the organization. We get a lot of development for them. We get a lot of development for Riku. Sora gets mad. When have we ever seen that character
No,
mad?
see, I'll give you
Ever?
that one. When Sora got
Yeah.
mad, I
Yeah.
popped off.
I'm like, yo, he yelled at Donald and Goofy. Like, who?
was the
Yo,
boys.
the Jiminy Cricket.
Finally is like prominent and important to the plot. Like he's never ever like he's in Sora's hoodie forever after that. You know what I'm saying? It's self-contained. You can play. It's one of those games where you can play and like you can play because that was my first Kingdom Hearts game. Where I'm like, all right, like I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? But like I got to the start and to the finish. Like just like, all right, cool. And the characters are really interesting. We still don't know why, like Marluxia's motives of why he wanted to take over the organization, or him wanting to make the Keyblade Master his puppet. It's just so many things. Like I get what
I get what
So
you mean.
yeah.
Now that you
To be honest, like
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep
It's a good-
it
it's a
as
good
an A.
story.
I'm
Strictly
definitely
because
keeping
it
as an
doesn't
A.
really incorporate a lot of the Disney stuff properly into the plot. Because
Exactly.
you could
Buns
erase
don't-
all of
Here's the
That's
thing. Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
actually, yeah.
you could erase
we-
all of it and it wouldn't be relevant.
Buns, no.
Here's the thing. We can't
Now that
say
you
that
say
for
it, yeah.
any of the KH games. Like
No, you
KH1
can't.
Yes, you
no,
definitely
we
can.
say-
KH1.
Okay.
No.
Hold on. KH1, yes, sure. But otherwise, not really.
No,
think
yeah,
some
I'm just
memories should
defending
be A+.
KH1. Like, you can't come at KH1 because that's the thing that it did right.
I,
That's the only one that
am
did.
not talking. I'm not coming to KH1, but if you look at the entire Kingdom Hearts series, we can't really say, oh well, Recom didn't do justice to these movies, so we got to bump it down, because otherwise you'd have to bump everything
No,
else down
because
as
I think
well.
Kingdom Hearts 2 doesn't. Because Kingdom Hearts 2 incorporates Disney a little more than Com ever would. Like in Beast's Castle and stuff with Zaldin, that entire altercation, Luxor and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they tried to integrate them properly into the Disney world.
They tried, yes, but I
they
don't think they
didn't,
really. Yeah.
And it's like, for me, that's the problem with Com, is that the Disney aspect is completely irrelevant, okay?
True,
Even, like,
true.
there was no attempt.
I felt the payoff
Oh
in
my
every
God.
Disney World in KH1 because it incorporated the Disney villains with the story so well. Like when you go to Agrabah, when you go to what's it called, Neverland, when you see Kairi and Riku there, you go to it's just, bro. It did so many things right, and it actually stood with connecting the story with the Disney aspect. What's the point of introducing the Disney aspect when you're not going to do anything with it at all? Shout out to Recom. Where are we going to put KH2 and where are we going to put Days?
I would put KH2 at A.
Yeah, I would put KH2
All
with
day.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm giving that a B. Wait.
Think so?
KH2 would be A.
A minus.
Here's here. I'm gonna argue.
I'm
for
happy with
KH2
either
being
A or a B for
A.
KH2 because I can.
I think
understand
KH2 should be at A. I think
Okay.
KH2 should be at A. A because the Roxas opening, I think, does a really good job. I know a lot of people have a
Okay.
problem with it, but as far as Roxas as a character, I think it does an amazing job of establishing, like, who he is. Eventually, like at first, it's kind of ambiguous, but later on, we wouldn't have the same appreciation for Roxas if that intro wasn't done in the way that it was done.
I put Days above KH2. to be
Agreed.
honest.
I agree.
No.
I
I
agree.
agree,
too.
Jeff. Yeah.
Well, no,
No,
here's the thing. Here's the
no.
thing. Dylan, shut up and hear me out. So, why would I put Days above KH2? Well, yes, the ending made me feel sad. Yes, let's just get that out of the friggin' way. Shion is a decent character. Let's get that out of the way. The reason that I think that Days is much better than KH2 is A, again, that plot significance. That is a huge thing for me. B, there's this mystery going on throughout the entire game that, people like to focus on, oh, well, it's just three people eating ice cream. No, it's a lot more.
It's
than
really
that.
not that, but yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
So I honestly think that the mystery and the character interactions between the three and between the organization in general really elevate Days above KH2 for me. It's
That
much more of a
dynamic.
character-focused game, but that character focus definitely lifts it.
Days has a pacing problem. That's just.
Huge
Days
pacing,
has,
an
Days
enormous
has a
problem.
Okay.
gigantic pacing problem, but what is there
It's
is
really good.
really good. Yeah.
Okay, so here, looking at the graph right now, here's what I would do. Okay, I would put Days and Com next to each other, just like straight out A. I would put Birth by Sleep at a B strictly because of the characters, and then I would put. Wait, no, what was I thinking? I would put two
Oh my
between A and
god.
I would put Kingdom Hearts 2 between A and B. That was how I would map it out.
Okay, so
I would probably do the same. I'd
I
probably
would agree with
tie 2 and. Well, see, I can't tie 2 and BBS because, in my
No,
opinion,
that's what I'm
BBS is
saying.
a
Put
little bit
Birth by
better.
Sleep on B because the characters really are a problem with it.
Yeah, so Birth by
Yeah,
Sleep.
no,
would
you're
be-
right. You're right.
And
you're
then
right.
Kingdom Hearts 2 would be between A and B. Chain of Memories and Days, in my opinion, are very equal, and then Kingdom Hearts 1 BS.
Right.
all
Right.
right.
And you could argue that Days could be between S and A.
The tier list as it is right now is fine because yes, everyone has its pros and cons, but like if we're comparing Birth by Sleep to KH2 and Birth by Sleep to Days, I feel like Days does more things right than Birth by
Yep.
Sleep, which is why I have
Yeah.
it where it is.
I would agree with that.
KH1 S tier, Rechain Days A, KH2 in between A and B, Birth by Sleep Final Mix B, 0.2 C, Dream Drop D, and Recoded. Anyway,
Now, Now, can we quickly?
What's a recoded?
Can you show the gameplay section again?
Please.
and you show that, and then show story again, and then look at where Days just jumps.
And this is why I separated my list into gameplay and story, because
I look at them as a whole.
rankings
I feel
for
like you
these
have to
things
take it
are
as a whole.
so friggin'
Oh
different.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
split them up because they just
Because it's like when you play a game, you're getting the whole package. So that's how I
Look how
review
far
things as a
Recoded dropped. That's what I was saying earlier. Like Recoded and Days are literally the same. It's one coin, right? Two different sides. Because
Well, I look at
Recoded,
it.
shit story, good gameplay. Fucking Days, good story, shit gameplay. So it's like, just look at this. This is actually. So
I look at it like I gotta separate them because otherwise a lot of the games are just gonna be B and C tier. Like everything but like 3 games are gonna be B and C tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
And even then, I would say the gameplay is very much just within the series. So I wouldn't really say the gameplay of any of these games is bad.